Good evening, friends of Worldchefs. This is Uwe Micheel calling from Dubai. To be exact, in Rashidia, in my home, which is in the old part of Dubai. I'm in Dubai since 29 years now, leading together with Andy Cuthbert the UAE Emirates Culinary Guild for the last 22 years. I'm part of the Worldchefs Presidium for a couple of years now. I'm Assistant Vice President with Thomas Gugler and the team. So today I have the pleasure to cook with Worldchefs. So I have great equipment and great ingredients. This is all what the chef needs, is to have good equipment and good ingredients. So let's start with the veal. I'm using veal from VanDrie, which is the largest calf producer in the world, I believe. They're processing around 1.5 million of calves a year. So, and I decided to use topside and sweetbread. Sweetbread, which is for me one of the most underrated and forgotten ingredients, because you don't see it on the menu anymore. When I was young, when I was an apprentice, sweetbread was one of our key specialties in the restaurant, but now you hardly see it, so I decided to use it again. I do traditional dishes, I don't do anything fancy, no foam, no pearls today, just traditional good food. So, and then let's look at the equipment. AMT in German, or AMT, which you would most probably pronounce it, is fantastic cooking equipment. I met them the first time couple of years ago doing the Olympics, in Culinary Olympics in Germany, and started to work with, and I found out it's fantastic equipment. So I asked them to send me some to Dubai as well. So if it's good enough for the German national team, then it's good enough for us, I would say. Yeah, so great equipment, great food. Let's start. So the sweetbread, when it comes vacuum chilled. So what you do a few hours before, you open the packet, put it in just in cold water, keep it for a few hours, because you want to make sure that all the blood is gone, because we want to have a good stock later on, because the stock we're using for the sauce. So make sure to wash it properly, or even if you want, you can blanch it quick, what is okay also, but it's not necessary. If you wash it properly, it's okay. So then let's go and look at the other ingredients. Okay, you remember, you have seen the whole top side early on. Now, this is what is left from the big piece, from the big top side. Okay, so I haven't decided yet what I will do with this, but I produced a few things. So I left the little nut because I want to roast it, just slow roast it, and then slice it thinly with a nice fresh salad. It's an amazing starter. So then I have a few slices which I will use for schnitzel after. Then I have, like, mainly from the cover, what I did, I cut it in cubes. I plan to do a nice veal marengo out of it. I said today is traditional dishes. So veal marengo, I remember during my apprentice time, it was a very, very popular dish, which is just nice, good quality of veal meat, either topside or from the shoulder. Shoulder is even better because you have a little fat inside, so it's even better than topside. But this is perfect for it. In a nice cream sauce with a few mushrooms is really, really nice. Then our main thing, what we talk about today, we have the nice flathead already. You see what we do. I cut it in pieces, then in clean film, and then obviously not on the plate, and then we make it nice and flat. I'm not doing it right now because it will make a lot of noise and it's not really nice. My cameraman Annette said, don't do it, this is too noisy. Okay, so I've done it before, I prepared it. So, and here, thinking about it, one of my favorite dishes is a nice veal cordon bleu. So I will do later on, I will cut this and make nice cordon bleus out of it. So let's see what else we have on the table here. Okay, let's go here, start with the fillings for my veal roll. I have brezaola, I have cheese. You see, I'm going Swiss today, Swiss cheese and Swiss brezaola. and then French mustard and UE dates. So I wanted to put something, a little bit of a local touch, so I put dates in the filling. But be careful, don't put too many dates. Originally I wanted to put some in the sauce also, but then I tried one of the dates, and the date is amazing. It's so sweet. So, but for the dish, it will be too sweet if I put too many dates. So I just put a few right in the middle as a filling. Okay, then what else do I have? I have broccoli, I have carrots, I have zucchini, I have potatoes, I have sweet potatoes, I have spring onions. Actually, the vegetable, I mean, you can do whatever you want, whatever vegetable you have around. I used whatever I had in the fridge. So, and what I have in the fridge, obviously, what I like to eat. Okay, so I use the broccoli, the carrots, and the zucchini as a vegetable garnish for my veal rolls, and sweet potatoes and normal potatoes. I mix them and make some nice roast potatoes out of it, just with spring onions. And what you see in here is tarragon. Tarragon I will use for the sauce for my sweetbread. So I use you will see in a minute when we go to boil it, the stock we will use for the sauce, and then reduce the stock and just add some cream. I have some nice cream here. So then we reduce it, add the cream, make a nice cream sauce out of it, and add the tarragon later. What we have on the side here is basically a smørbrød for our sauce. How do we start off? You see all the trimmings, the skin from the top side. When I cleaned it, I use that for the base to make a jus. And then I have smørbrød, celery and leek and tomatoes and onions and garlic and a little bit of tomato paste. So I guess that's it. So next what we will do, we will take the sweetbread and boil it, and then we produce it, keep producing it for the final dish. I have decided in between when I had the sweetbread in my hand, because I boiled already 2 pieces earlier, and when I had it in a hand, I decided to make 2 sweetbread dishes. So one as a garnish for the veal roulade, ragout, and then the second one just as a little starter or as a course in between, just pan-fried sweetbread. But I remembered many years ago when we had it in one of my restaurants where I used to work, and it was an amazing dish. So I will just take then my green peas, which I have here, and the sweetbread in the cream sauce, nothing else, just as a in between dish, a light dish. So let's go now and go and cook the sweetbread. Okay, now I'm ready to boil the sweetbread. I have, as I said earlier, I watered this nicely. So watch it one more last time. You see, it's still a little bit blood is there. So make sure it's really, as I said, because I want to use the stock for the sauce. So I want it nice and clean. Okay, so my water is boiling. So what I have here, I use a little bit vegetable stock. I didn't season it with any salt or pepper, because I will reduce the stock really down later on, so I don't want to have it too spicy. So here you see the stalks from my tarragon earlier on. We don't throw, we put inside, because for the stock we can use everything we have. Look what is on the plate here. The skin from the carrots, my snow peas peeling, little bit of zucchini. So everything goes in the stock, because we know a lot of goodness is always in the skin of the vegetable and fruits. So like when I remember apples, for example, have 65% of their vitamins and goodness is actually in the skin or just below the skin. So, and with a lot of other vegetables it's very similar. So, but this is not quite enough, so I add a little bit more vegetable. I have a little, as I said, I have leek, I have a few carrots, a little bit of celery, voila, and a bit of onion. Okay, so now I will boil that for easy 20, maybe 25 minutes. So I don't want to boil it too hard. I want it soft boiled. As I said, laundry, we are boiling hard, but when we boil food, we boil it nice and soft. So just put a little bit of garlic. Garlic is always good, and then we are okay. So next we will go now and do the veal roulade. Okay, so I take the first piece of veal which I flattened earlier, so it's very nice. Now a little bit of mustard. I like Dijon. I use most of the time fine mustard because I think it's very nice. Okay, so now I just put a little bit of pepper. Don't put any salt because my beef has salt and the cheese has salt, so I don't want to get it too salty. So let's put one more because I love dried beef. Then we put the cheese, nice Emmental cheese. Voila. Let's do a little bit more. I love cheese. You can see. So now my dates, nice UE dates. I obviously took the seeds out earlier because we don't want to break our teeth with the seeds. So now we roll it. Very simple. It's a very easy, very simple dish. As I said earlier, when you see the amount of dishes what you can make out of one piece of topside, it's pretty amazing. I think if we get 4 or 5 chefs together, we can easily get, within a few minutes, we can get 100 dishes, which we can do just out of the topside. Okay, so now I use toothpicks to put it a little bit together to make sure it doesn't break. In the meantime, I start the oven. So one more from here and one more here, so make sure it doesn't open. Obvious guys, make sure when you finish it, take the toothpicks out. I think it's nothing worse than having toothpicks on your plate when you start eating. So I made a few pieces earlier, so you see I kept busy before we started actually filming. Okay, so now I will season again a little bit. Okay, and a little bit of salt. So from the outside we should do. Okay, there's nothing in the pot yet, so the pot's getting warm. I use olive oil. My favorite olive oil actually is Rama, which I use for everything. I use for cooking, I use for salads, because I don't like to have 5-6 different kind of olive oils in the kitchen. I like to use one. So salt. Always try to use the salt from the meal because it's better. So now we start to roast them from a little bit from both sides. Okay. Little bit more olive oil. Now my tongue from AMT comes very handy to change and swirl them around. Okay, so in the meantime I will see if my sweetbread is almost getting there. Okay, so as I said, I cook it very slow. See all my nice carrot skin, this all gives flavor for the sauce. Guys, it's mainly, I'm talking now to your young chefs who are watching and listening. We do not need to throw anything. Anything what we have in the kitchen can be used for something, or almost everything. Yeah, there's very few things which we have to throw. Okay, yes, I know there is a very big discussion, where do we stop food waste and where do we start food safety. Okay, so yes, I know we do have to throw a lot of things, especially when the buffets are finished and so on, because of food safety. But we all need to work on that because the food waste in the moment still in our world is far, far too high. So we all need to work on food waste together. We see every little piece, as I said, every little piece of parsley even can help us in future to feed the world. Okay, looks good. So in the meantime, I will start to prepare for my sweetbread. So this will take a few minutes to roast. So when this is in, I will then start to do with the milpa. So it will take a few more minutes. Oh, my veal looks really great. So now I will add a little bit of milpa because I want to have a good sauce. I have a veal stock, little bit, but I still want to do it properly. So a little bit of leek. I had a soft tomato in the fridge, so I add also onions. Okay, so we go nicely roasted all together. Looks really good. And then when I have a little bit of color, so I have my tomato paste. This spoon is enough. Because I want a nice brown jus sauce with it. Because if you remember what I said earlier, my dish will have two sauces. So I have a nice dark veal jus, and I have a creamy, nice cream, tarragon cream sauce for my sweetbread. So I want to have a contrast with the two sauces to really have. So looks good. Now I have a little bit of grape juice. So now there is a question. Normally people would say for veal you use white, but I want, as I said, I want a really nice dark sauce, so that's why I use red. So now I put the other veal inside. Voila. Nice. So I have a little bit of stock. So this is the juice which came out. So we don't, as I said, we do not waste nothing because the flavor is in there. So I have a little bit of jus. Okay, now I give it a boil and then I stick it in the oven. Okay, now as I said earlier, we're doing the sweetbread. I had boiled the sweetbread earlier, so, and then made it cold, covered that it doesn't get dry. So this is the boiled sweetbread. So we take it, nice piece. Now we have to take the skin. See if you can get close with the camera. We need to remove the skin which is there, and here we need to remove the skin out. And then I have two ways. I took a nice piece and sliced it, and I have, for my ragout, I have small pieces. So which we will do, we just take the small pieces, make sure remove it. You see, remove the skin because it will be chewy after. Okay, so we take the skin out and then we just peel it basically off this way, and then it's ready. And I have a few nice slices also where I just remove the skin from the outside. So, and with that, I'm doing my first separate dish, which I said I would do like a starter. Season it, just salt and pepper. And then let me switch the oven on. And my nice AMT pan is getting hot. You see, beautiful equipment. It's really, guys, it's really nice to work when you have proper equipment. So a little bit pepper. And then some people would put a little bit of lemon juice or even Worcester sauce. I personally want to have the flavor from it, so I will not put anything else. So just flour, and then I just soak it in butter, just basically to make it properly hot, because we know it's completely cooked. But make sure when you boil the sweetbread that you don't overcook it. Okay, so nice piece of butter. As I said, everything what I do today is old-fashioned, and old-fashioned part of it is also that we have nice butter in the sauce, that we don't look too much at calories. So good. I put my sweetbread inside. In the meantime, you see here I have the sauce. I used the stock from boiling the sweetbread earlier, reduced it down to almost like 25% only, and then just added cream, boiled a little bit, and add a little bit of starch, and that's basically it. Okay, so now we wait until this is cooked, and then we will dress. Okay, my sweetbread looks beautiful. So let me finish the sauce. It's about the same. Now I put just the tarragon. You can see AMT is not only pots and pans, whisk, tongs, anything, small equipment what you need, everything is there, and really nice quality. So I did my snow peas here, just in butter. Little salt and pepper. That's it. Okay, so I can dress. As I said, I make it very simple. Just the snow peas. Beautiful. Voila. Okay. Let me just make sure. Very nice. Really, the flavor from the sweetbread is in the sauce. Just a little. That's it, basically. Okay, very simple, but it's a nice dish in between, and very light, very healthy. Okay, so I keep going straight away here. Now I have my sweetbread which I did for my ragout. Okay, so I use the same sauce, put it inside, so it can get warm already, because I don't want to boil it really, just to get it slowly warm in there, because it is completely cooked. I will just give it a little boil just before serving, but that's it. I can switch it off now. So it looks really nice and ready. So let me take some out. Okay, some here. Voila. Then in the meantime, you can see I took some of the stock out earlier, reduced it, finished my sauce. Sauce is almost done. The only thing what I do, I take a little bit of mustard to the sauce, because I tasted it. So, a little mustard. And the sauce should be ready. Just taste it. Little salt, pepper. This is again, it's more addressed to the young chefs. Make sure whatever you do, whatever you put on a plate, before you put it on your final plate, make sure you taste. I know a lot of our colleagues know, I know already, I don't need to taste. I do it every day, 10 times, 100 times. Make sure you taste. Okay, once it's on the plate, it's too late. Okay, my sauce is done, my vegetable is done, my potatoes, they look beautiful. And again, good equipment, good pans are very, very important. So let me remove the toothpicks first. Voila, I think I put enough toothpicks. Here we go. Okay, so I start with the potatoes. They look nice, crispy. You can even, okay, look inside. You see the dates, the cheese, the brezaola, really nice. And I feel it when I cut it, how nice and tender it is. Look at this, it looks beautiful. Nice family platter. Again, try to keep a little bit with the tradition in our country here. What we do when we eat with the family, we put the platter in the middle. We don't do a lot of plated meals. Okay, so we just put a little. Actually, what I will do, I changed my mind, because the platter will get too full, will get too busy, so I will put the vegetables separate. See, when you see, make sure plan B is there, because it wouldn't make sense if I put everything on here. Okay. And I have my brown sauce. So, and what I will do now, I will serve the vegetables separate, and just a little bit of fresh tarragon on top. Let's see if I find another nice one. Okay, so it's nice and warm, nice and hot. Okay, here we go. And voila. So guys, here we are. So let's have a look what we have. We have VanDrie veal sweetbread, just with snow peas and a little bit of tarragon sauce. It's just blanched or boiled, then pan fried, and it's a nice as a starter, as a dish in between. And then our main course is veal roulade, made out of veal topside, filled with air-dried beef with brezaola and Emmental cheese and dates from UAE. And we have the sweetbread ragout in the tarragon sauce on the side, and we have a nice light mustard sauce with it as well. And we serve the whole thing with sweet potato and normal potato, just a roast with nice spring onions, salt and pepper, that's all, and a little bit of broccoli and zucchini and carrots. So this is the way we would serve it as a dish. We have a little bit of ragout, supplement and extra sauce if people wish. So this is Chef Uwe out of Dubai, cooking for Worldchefs and with VanDrie Veal and AMT.